It's 3 a.m. in Galați, Romania, a 10-story apartment block, families asleep, and then a Russian drone comes through the roof. Not metaphorically, not near the border, not in a field somewhere, through the actual roof of an actual apartment building full of actual people, on NATO soil. 2 people were pulled out injured, 70 evacuated. The roof was on fire, and the Romanian military, with F-16s already in the air, had to watch it happen, because shooting the drone down over a city would have killed more people than the drone itself. That was less than 4 weeks ago. And what Romania did next is the part Russia did not see coming. Because within 72 hours, Bucharest had expelled the Russian consul, shut down Moscow's consulate in Constanța, formally notified the UN Security Council, requested emergency anti-drone capability from NATO allies, and quietly activated an American AI weapon on Romanian soil. One NATO hadn't publicly acknowledged was already operational, and one that had already destroyed over 1,000 Russian drones in Ukraine. What Romania is building right now, with 16.6 billion euros and a very specific grudge, is something that is going to permanently change Russia's calculation in the Black Sea. And the timeline is tighter than anyone's reporting. Romania doesn't really make the headlines. And if you know anything about Romanian history, that's probably intentional. This is a country that spent decades under one of the most paranoid communist dictatorships in Eastern Europe, got liberated in 1989 in a revolution that lasted about a week and a half, and has been quietly modernizing ever since, while the rest of Europe argued about cheese regulations and train schedules. But here's what Romania has been sitting on for 4 years, increasingly quietly furious about. The country shares roughly 650 kilometers of land border with Ukraine. Its eastern edge runs right along the Danube River, less than 500 meters wide in some places, with Ukrainian port cities sitting directly on the other bank. Cities that Russia has been targeting with drones almost every single night since 2022. And because physics doesn't respect NATO membership, those drones, when shot down over Ukraine, or when they malfunction, or when Russia just doesn't aim particularly carefully, have been landing on Romanian territory with alarming regularity. Since 2022, Romania has recorded 28 separate Russian drone violations of its airspace, fragments found in farmers' fields, unexploded payloads detonated by bomb disposal teams, fighter jets scrambled in the middle of the night, 18 air policing missions in the first 4 months of 2026 alone, nearly a third of the entire total since the war began. A former Romanian Defense Ministry official named Constantin Spinu told ABC News something revealing. He said Bucharest always expected Russia would escalate along the shared border, but, quote, it was not possible to foresee the amplitude of the attacks. That's diplomat speak for, we knew it would be bad, not this bad. For a long time, Romania handled this the way a country of 19 million people handles a very large, very aggressive neighbor, carefully. Romania filed complaints, scrambled jets, documented every fragment, and made absolutely sure nothing it did could be read as provocation. That era ended on the roof in Galați, May 29th, 2026. Russia launches a wave of 232 drones and 1 ballistic missile at Ukraine overnight. Standard procedure at this point, Ukraine shoots down 217 of them. One of the remaining ones, a Russian Shahed-type drone packed with explosives, gets hit by Ukrainian air defenses over the Danube near Reni. Normally, that's a good outcome, except the impact alters the drone's course instead of destroying it, and it keeps flying across the river into Romania, doing 200 kilometers per hour over a populated city. 4 minutes, start to finish. The Romanian military had radar on it the whole time. F-16s were already airborne and authorized to engage. The problem, and this is the part that made Romanian generals visibly uncomfortable in the press conference, is that the drone was flying so low and so fast over residential Galați that engaging it would have scattered shrapnel and debris over the exact people it was trying to protect. So they watched it hit the roof. The building's top floors were evacuated. A woman and her child were hospitalized. Others were treated for panic attacks at the scene, and Romanian President Nicolae Dan convened an emergency meeting of the Supreme Council of National Defense at sunrise, called it the most serious incident on Romanian territory since the war began, and went on national television to announce consequences. The Russian consul in Constanța, persona non grata, gone. The consulate closed. Romania formally notified the UN Security Council of what it called a repeated violation of international law. And then Bucharest sent a very specific list of requests to NATO allies. Not for moral support, but for hardware, radars, anti-drone systems, fighter aircraft support, and she wanted it immediately. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte called. U.S. Ambassador Matthew Whitaker posted that NATO would defend every inch of Allied territory. France's foreign minister summoned the Russian ambassador in Paris. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer called it a serious violation of NATO airspace. Putin, for his part, was apparently informed. The Kremlin had no comment. Maria Zakharova, Russia's foreign ministry spokesperson, who has probably the most demanding job in the world, said all accusations about Russian drones flying over Europe were unsubstantiated. The roof in Galați was presumably also unsubstantiated. Romania's existing air defense, F-16s, Patriots, Gepard anti-aircraft guns, Chiron missiles, was simply not designed for this problem. These are systems built to track large targets at altitude. A Shahed drone flying at low altitude over a city at 200 kilometers per hour in the dark with 4 minutes warning is a categorically different threat, and Romania had no answer for it until June 24th. On June 24th, Romania's defense ministry released a press statement announcing that a system called Merops had been fully operationalized and integrated into Romanian air defense architecture. Fully integrated, not tested, not on trial, live. Merops was built by a company called Project Eagle, founded by Eric Schmidt. Yes, that Eric Schmidt, former CEO of Google. The man ran the world's most powerful search engine, then apparently looked at the state of the world and decided his next project should be autonomous drone killers on NATO's eastern flank. Nobody asked him to, he just did it. Respect. The system is built around something called the AS-3 Surveyor Interceptor, an autonomous drone that uses artificial intelligence to detect, track, and physically intercept other drones. Not jam them, not blind them, kill them. Direct impact or proximity detonation in GPS-denied environments against targets that conventional radar struggles to see. The cost per engagement, approximately $15,000 per interceptor. The cost of a Russian Shahed drone, approximately $35,000. The math works. In Ukraine, Merops has already logged over 1,000 confirmed intercepts of Shahed-type drones. Poland has been fielding it, Denmark is next, and Romania just became the third NATO ally to bring it fully online, the day after Russia's ambassador was expelled from Constanța. There's a detail in the Galați press conference that nobody picked up on. When asked why Merops wasn't used to stop the drone that hit the apartment building, a Romanian general explained that the system had been operational, but couldn't safely engage over a densely populated urban area, meaning Merops was already active on Romanian territory before the official announcement. It just couldn't solve that specific problem in that specific moment. What it can solve is the next one. A NATO military official told CNN something important after Galați. The alliance is now working to bring Merops under NATO command and control, meaning it wouldn't just be Romania's system, it would be integrated into the alliance's collective air picture across the eastern flank. That is a fundamentally different level of commitment than filing a complaint with the UN Security Council. Merops is the emergency patch. Romania's parliament had already approved something much larger. SAFE, the security action for Europe, is essentially the EU's emergency defense budget, designed for NATO members on the eastern flank to rearm without going through the normal procurement process. Which, if you've ever watched a European Defense Committee in action, you'll understand is basically the difference between ordering pizza and growing the wheat yourself. Romania's total allocation from SAFE between now and 2030, 16.6 billion euros. That's not a military budget, that's a military transformation. On June 2nd, 3 days after the Galați drone hit, Rheinmetall announced a major contract with Romania for a system called the Skyranger 35. This is a mobile air defense platform mounted on the same Lynx-tracked combat vehicle chassis that Romania is already buying for its infantry fighting vehicles. 35mm cannon, programmable air-bursting cannon rounds designed specifically to shred drones and low-flying threats, advanced sensors, and the ability to move with frontline units rather than sitting at a fixed site waiting for trouble to arrive. The significance of the Lynx chassis isn't just tactical, it's logistical. Air defense vehicles, personnel carriers, mortar platforms, command posts sharing one chassis means one maintenance pipeline, one spare parts inventory, one training program. For a country that spent decades nursing a graveyard of Soviet-era equipment, that's not a minor efficiency. That's the difference between a military that can sustain itself and one that slowly rusts. The full SAFE procurement list is staggering. 7 Rheinmetall Skynex CRAM systems worth 476 million euros alone, 2 Skyranger mobile platforms, Lynx infantry fighting vehicles, tanks, 4 naval vessels through the Mangalia shipyard, 12 Airbus H-225M helicopters already under contract, loitering munitions, meaning offensive drones, anti-ship missiles, and 1,115 Iveco transport vehicles in 16 configurations. Romania isn't buying weapons. Romania is buying a military, and Rheinmetall alone is expected to account for activity worth nearly 5 billion euros of that total, with mandatory local production requirements baked into the contracts, meaning Romanian factories will be building German weapons on Romanian soil. That's not just a procurement strategy, that's an industrial strategy. Bucharest is using the threat from Russia to rebuild a domestic defense manufacturing base that can sustain itself after the contracts run out. German weapons, American AI, French helicopters, all of it landing in a country that 20 years ago, most Europeans couldn't confidently locate on a map. What specifically terrifies Moscow isn't Romania at all. It's what Romania anchors. The Black Sea is Russia's soft underbelly. Navy, grain leverage, energy pipelines, the link to Mediterranean ambitions that Putin has been nursing since 2014. Crimea was the move that was supposed to lock the northern coast permanently. What Romania controls is the western coast, and that's the piece Russia never figured it needed to worry about. Romania sits on the western Black Sea coast, a country Russia has spent 4 years treating like a speed bump, and which has quietly decided it prefers the role of wall. It hosts the Mihail Kogalnichai-Anu Air Base, one of NATO's largest and most strategically positioned air installations on the eastern flank, capable of hosting B-52 bombers, F-35s, and the E-3A airborne warning and control aircraft that NATO flew immediately after the Galați incident to expand radar coverage. Romanian-controlled Constanța is the largest port on the Black Sea. In June 2026, Romania hosted Sea Breeze 26.1, 450 troops from Romania, the United States, Moldova, Ukraine, Georgia, Turkey, and Bulgaria running live fire drills and an amphibious assault scenario on the Black Sea coast. The Ukrainians were there in Romania training on NATO's beach with NATO's guns under NATO's air cover. Separately, another 500-plus Romanian and allied troops ran mine countermeasure and diving exercises in the Constanța area. These are not symbolic. The Black Sea has been seeded with drifting mines since 2022, and clearing them is as much a strategic mission as a humanitarian one. Ukraine, Georgia, and Moldova were at that table, which is itself a message to Moscow about whose neighborhood this actually is. Russia's Black Sea naval presence has already been savaged by Ukrainian drone and missile strikes. Multiple warships destroyed or relocated, the flagship Moskva sunk, the Kerch Bridge hit so many times it's basically a scheduling problem for Ukrainian drone operators at this point. Russia's ability to project naval power into the Western Black Sea is a fraction of what it was before the war. What Romania is building: layered drone defense at the port, new corvettes, anti-ship missiles, radar networks tied into NATO's air picture, is the infrastructure that turns the Western Black Sea into a permanent no-go zone for Russian naval operations. Not today, not next year, by 2030. That's Putin's last European stronghold slipping. The first was Crimea. He took it, but it became a target practice range for Ukrainian drones and a financial sinkhole he can't escape. The second is the Western Black Sea coast, and this time he doesn't even get to keep the wreckage. Russia's drone campaign was built on one assumption: that NATO members would keep trying to kill $35,000 drones with $2 million missiles until the math broke them. Romania's previous air defense was caught in exactly that trap. The cost per intercept was running into the hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of euros per drone kill. The Skyranger changes the bottom of that equation. A burst of 35mm cannon rounds cost nothing close to a missile. Layered with Merops at $15,000 per kill, the cost curve doesn't just improve, it inverts. Russia built an attritional campaign against a country that just hired German engineers, American AI, and the former CEO of Google to solve the math. That's not a defense procurement program. That's a vendetta with a budget line. And the Skyranger being mounted on a mobile tracked platform means it doesn't sit at a fixed installation waiting to be targeted. It moves with infantry units, repositions constantly, and has no fixed address for Russian targeting to lock onto. You can't OSINT your way to its location and plan a counterstrike the way you could with a Patriot battery on a known base. A Russian drone hit a Romanian apartment building and injured civilians on NATO soil for the first time in this war. Russia denied responsibility. Romania expelled Moscow's consul, shut down its consulate, activated an American AI weapons system, signed German weapons contracts worth billions, announced a naval buildup in the Black Sea, and ran multinational exercises with Ukraine and Georgia on its coastline. Russia's response to all of that was essentially silence. There's a word for what happens when a country that has been carefully, patiently absorbing provocations for 4 years finally decides it's done absorbing them and starts spending 16.6 billion euros to make sure the next drone doesn't reach anyone's roof. That word isn't rearmament, it's deterrence, and Russia is about 4 years too late to stop it.